Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. It is 7 o'clock Sunday evening, time for Sunday Night Live Chat. Since we are going live, we'll give everybody a few seconds to start jumping on with us, and then we will get rolling for tonight. As usual, we are on two formats tonight. We are on YouTube and Facebook both. So as I am watching both monitors, if you see me glancing off to the side, that's what I'm doing, is keeping an eye on comments on both monitors. So got Chris on with us on YouTube. Manuel just jumped on Facebook, so we're getting some people on with us. Time to get rolling yet tonight. So as always, thanks for coming back, everybody. Still amazes me that we get to do this, that I'm lucky enough to have you guys jump on with me and hang out for a while. So we're here to talk about old cars, trucks, memorabilia, and any sort of related stuff. So that's what we're here. As always, if you got questions, comments, throw them up there. We'll sure try to get to whatever we can. And hopefully everything will work tonight as planned. Got Chopper 1 on with us on YouTube. Thanks for coming back, Chopper. And as always, bear with me. Dan from Defiance is back on. Ed's back on YouTube. Thanks for being here, guys. And says we got a good signal on YouTube. That's great. So at least we know that one's working. I'm not getting in. There's got a few things popping up on Facebook. We have had issues with Facebook feeding comments over the last several weeks. So going to try to work with that best we can. If I miss something, I apologize. I'm going with what the system's feeding me. I got Murfreesboro, Tennessee on. So getting a few people jumping on Facebook. But as always, if I miss your questions or comments, I apologize. I sure try to get to whatever I can. When the system doesn't get them to me, I'm kind of at their mercy. So bear with me on that. It's not that I'm trying to ignore you. It's just sometimes they don't get them to me. Michigan on YouTube. Thanks for being here, everybody. And we'll see if comments work. And as always, when we get to the trivia section, hopefully it'll work. I go with the first correct answer that I see. And that doesn't always work out that way, but that's all we can work with. Got Missouri on Facebook as well. So, and last week I never did hear from last week's winner. So give me a shout on last week's winner on trivia also. Western Kansas is on. New Mexico's on. Thanks for being here, everybody. Glad you had time to stop by, hang out with us for a while tonight. And let's get rolling. What's going on out there? Australia's on with us. Hey, got Australia on with us on Facebook. Thanks for being here, Australia. What's going on in the car world? Vermont's on YouTube. So we're literally all over South Carolina. Got a great crowd on tonight. Thanks for being here, everybody. What's happening in the car world this week? Mecum had their second Indy sale. Talked to my good buddy Jim Wicks today. He was there, and once again, car count was down. He said, the market is just so hot. I don't know if the market's hot, nobody wants to sell cars, or what the deal is, but he said Mecum Dallas was down, Mecum Indy was down, and this was their second Indy. They typically don't do this. Obviously, this year, for screwed up as things are, they're kind of going wherever they can. The Spring Classic, which was held in July at Indy, which we did go to, was a great sale. But they're just trying to have sales wherever they can. And and I just really think there just isn't that many people that want to cut loose of cars, I'm guessing, because they're just not filling these auctions up like they usually do. So, and the sell-through rates have been very good. Jim even said that sell-through rate at Indy seemed pretty good to him. They just can't get cars. Chopper says everyone's cautious because of COVID, and maybe that's why people don't want to take their cars, because they don't feel like they want to go. But the market's been pretty strong. I got Rico and Jess on with us. Rico and Jess are always here with us. Glad they're back. But like I said, they're selling cars. They seem to be having trouble getting them. But overall, sounds like it was a decent sale with good sell-through rates. So that's always good. At least they are moving some cars. So had kind of interesting thing happened this morning. I don't know how many of you caught the video on my 78 F250 that I did, but our friends at Bankshift also put that up on their website today. So kind of exciting about that. I got Canada on with us. Canada's on Facebook as well. If you guys haven't checked out the website, bankshift.com, they did post my F78 F250 video this morning. Chad Reynolds, a good friend of mine. Great website. If you don't check it regularly, I check it every day because there's always cool stuff on it. And, obviously cars, drag racing, but if it's cool and has an engine and wheels, there's a chance it may pop up on there. But you'll see airplanes on there, tanks on there, all kinds of cool stuff. So I always check that every day. Went in there and checked it this morning, and my video was on it. So that was kind of cool. They also posted video of Alex and Dennis Taylor's Dragula that Dennis just finished. Dennis and Alex have been working on that car. Great friends of ours, and some super cool videos. Alex's sister does some great photography and video work. They got some awesome videos on there of Dragula, the coffin car, just like the monstrous one that Dennis and Alex put together. So definitely check that out too. If you're on YouTube, Riding with Alex Taylor, check her out on there. And it's just so awesome to see that car, what they did with it. So definitely check that out. But it was always exciting to see one of your videos pop up somewhere else. So, yeah, that's a good point, Dan. Dan did bring up a good point. It is November 1st. I didn't catch that. It is no longer Jess's birth month, so she can't roll with that anymore. So I guess you're out of luck till next year, Jess. So I'll give you credit though. You beat that horse all month. You worked it over pretty good. So, Chopper One says you liked what we did for the Drag Week guys. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Race Week when they came through in June when we had them when they stopped at the yard. That was a great time, and it was cool having those guys. They're great friends of ours. Rocky Mountain Race Week is just such a cool deal. And I know I've harped on it before. And if you guys ever get a chance to at least go to one race, if not the whole thing, the people on that deal are second to none. We were thrilled to do it because all those guys everybody on that deal is friends. That's just, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you know their name. You're all friends. That's just the way it is. Do I remember a podcast called Car Talk? No, I do not remember that, Ed. Okay, we actually have. Jess has actually said it is officially dead. She has acknowledged her birth month is over, so we can't beat that horse anymore till next year if we're all still here hanging out next year. So anyway, Jess has thrown in the towel on her birth month thing. Illinois just jumped on with us on Facebook as well. So and Dan had his first great granddaughter, so he had a good month too when he's talking about Jess's birth month. And Chopper One says, yeah, he likes Boosted Boys and Cletus on YouTube as well, and they were both here at the yard that day. So shot some video here, did some cool stuff. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with Race Week when Rocky Mountain Race Week was here, and it was a great time, that's for sure. So glad you guys caught some of that footage as well. And if you're on Facebook and you ever want to go back and watch some of these videos, they are still on Facebook, but some of them are starting to get back their ways. You can always go to YouTube, to the Nobody Show channel on YouTube, and find all the videos a lot easier as opposed to, flipping through page after page of Facebook. So you can catch all that stuff on the YouTube channel under Nobody Show. It's probably going to be a lot easier to find those videos if anybody wants to go back and watch some of that stuff. So what else is going on? Titles. We talked about Dragula. Definitely check out the Dragula videos. That car is so cool that Dennis put together. Dennis and Alex Taylor. Check that car out. Check those videos out there on Bankshift as well. Titles. I know some of you guys have been waiting all year on titles. Me too. I hope I'm getting somewhere with that. Got New York on. So New York, Canada, Australia. We're all over the country and all over the world tonight, apparently, the way it looks. So thanks for being here, everybody. I know some of you guys have been waiting on titles all year, so have I. I hope I'm getting somewhere with it. I sent a bunch of stuff to my lawyer this week to try to hopefully get the process rolling to get some titles on some of this stuff. I've got some really cool stuff that I bought this year, but I've been hung up on getting titles to the state of Kansas. We've talked about this a little bit. and they are changing the rules because of Chopper says in Vermont, no titles are required after 15 years. That's interesting. Another one from Michigan on with us. Thanks for being here, everybody. There are so many people who are flipping old cars that are not dealers in the state of Kansas that the state is trying to get it shut down. Previously, you could just take a bill of sale and get a VIN inspection. They'd give you a new title on an antique vehicle. And what that has done is just allowed anybody to become a antique vehicle flipper without becoming a dealer. And the state is clamping down on that. I am a licensed used vehicle dealer in Kansas as well as salvage. I have 2 licenses, which is a pain in the butt because that means I have to buy 2 bonds. I have to have an insurance coverage, an insurance policy that will cover both licenses. And then, of course, I have to buy 2 licenses. So, but that's what I'm up against to do it legally. 53 Dodge pickup parts. I've got a little bit of that stuff, Matt. Just depends on what you're looking for. If you want to give me a shout when we get done and get me a list, I'll see if I can help you out with any of that stuff. And so the state's clamping down on that. Got our buddy Glenn on with us again. Glenn's usually here with us on Facebook. Glad he made it back. But the interesting thing that the state has told me that they can do and are going to start doing, and this is for any of you guys watching who are considering buying an antique vehicle from out of state, is the state of Kansas has told me, and this was through somebody at the Department of Revenue, that if they catch some of these guys who are flipping cars that are not licensed dealers, which means they are, they can't. What happens is instead of running everything under their name, they'll do a few in their name, a few in their wife's name, a few in their kid's name, so that they think they're not running up a red flag. Well, what the state has told me they're going to do when they start catching some of this, and this is something to keep in mind for you guys, no matter where you're buying a vehicle from, the Department of Revenue said they will revoke those titles. And I said they can do that, and they told me that the Department of Revenue issues the titles, and the Department of Revenue has the right to revoke the titles. So if you're not buying something from a licensed dealer and you get it back home, there's a possibility that title could pop bad. So that's something that was very interesting for me to hear from them, and something to think about for you guys when you're buying stuff from out of state is knowing who you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with somebody who actually has a car they've had for a long time and they're just deciding to sell it, or whether it's a licensed dealer or somebody who wants to be a dealer and isn't exactly legal. So that was rather enlightening to me. So, but I'm hoping that, and that's why it's taken so long. And I apologize. I know some of you guys have been waiting on some of these vehicles for me to get titles on them, but I'm trying to do it right. I'm trying to play by their rules. They've been great to work with. I can't say a bad thing about working with the representatives from the state that I've been working with. But it just takes time. It's a new process, and we are trying to do it right and keep it straight to begin with. So hopefully the next time we get ready to do them, it's a lot smoother, simpler process. So just a lot of different pieces that have to be put into place. With me being a licensed dealer, they're telling me it's not going to be any big deal. We just want to make sure everything is done right the first time, so the next time we do them here in a few months, they'll sail right through. So still working on that stuff, and hopefully coming to a conclusion on some of that. So if we have talked about something basically anytime this year, because they were shut down for COVID for the first part of the year, and then when they started doing them, I couldn't get them done because they're changing the rules. So if any of you guys were waiting for me to get titles for you on something you may have been interested in, please give me a call. Let me make sure I've got that vehicle on my list so we can get it done and we know where we're at on it. A couple more comments. Yeah, good to know. Not buying a classic from Kansas. Well, you can buy it from Kansas if you're buying it from a licensed dealer. That's the kicker, is knowing who you're dealing with. If it's a licensed dealer, and that's what the guys that I'm talking about to the state, with the state, say, hey, you're a dealer. We're going to do whatever we can to help you and make this work right, because I'm competing against all these guys who are not paying any of these license fees, who are not buying bonds, who are not insured. And that's, and that doesn't keep us on a level playing field. And that's why the state's doing it, to keep track of it and to be fair with guys like me. So if they're a licensed dealer, not a problem. It's just a matter of knowing who you're dealing with and asking a few questions. Dennis likes her air cleaner. Yeah, I did kind of mix things up a little bit this week. Instead of going with a sign, I grabbed an air cleaner. I've got, because all that stuff is super cool too. I think air cleaners, valve covers. I've got tons of valve covers. That stuff is just as good a art as signage and things like that. So thought I'd mix that up a little bit. Thanks for noticing, Dennis, and change some things around a little bit because it's still cool stuff, and that's the whole point is just having cool stuff to check out. So had that laying there, thought I'd throw that up for tonight. It actually came off of the 70 GS Stage 1 that I used to own years and years and years ago. So yeah, that's right, Chopper. It's not cool when people cheat the system, and that's what the state's trying to shut down. Which for me, overall long term, it's going to be way better for me. Other than it's been a huge pain to try to get this all straightened out. And I know some of you guys have been waiting on them, but that's what I've been up against. 73 F100 with a 360 and air cleaner. I don't know if I do or not, Edward. I'd have to check and see if any of those trucks have something like that. If you want to give me a shout after we get done here, I can get you on my notepad and check and see if I've got any of those. And you're right, Chopper. That's what makes it difficult on everybody else. And that's also why they're going to start revoking the titles for these guys who are not playing by the rules. And like I said, getting them in their name, their wife's name, their kids' names, and trying to do whatever they can to circumvent the system. That's what I said. We're just going to revoke them, and they can figure it out. Because if they think they can cheat the system, we can revoke the titles. So there again, and I'm just cautioning you with any, whether you're buying something anywhere, is make sure you know who you're dealing with. That's the key. So anyway, moving on. Let's see. Oh, when I do get a title, is it free and clear or bonded? That's a good question. Classic Ride Society. The titles that I do get and what I'm in the process of getting are clean, current Kansas titles. Like I said, I am a licensed dealer, and it's no different than buying a car off the used car lot where you're at. So, yes, they are free, clear titles in nobody else's auto's name. So, yeah, there's no issues with that. And, I give you a sales receipt and, along as well as the title when you buy a vehicle from me. So it's just like buying a used car anywhere else, other than it's not a late model one or anything. Chopper one signing off. Thanks for being here, Chopper. He's got to get up early. Be glad you made it tonight. But yes, these are clean, current Kansas titles that we're working on getting, so there shouldn't be any issue with them going anywhere. We shipped 4 trucks to Poland last year, had no problems. I've shipped trucks to New Zealand, shipped Australia. We've shipped cars and trucks all over the world. With these titles, and there's no issues getting through customs. There's no issues getting into the other countries. So yes, Classic Ride Society, they are legitimate, clean, clear, normal titles that shouldn't be an issue anywhere. So that's the good thing about it, is they are good, clean, current Kansas title. We just have to make sure we play by the state's rules when we get them, and that's what we're working on. So anyway, that's what I've been up against. That's what I'm fighting, but hopefully we'll get her done and it'll be right and shouldn't be any issues from now on. New inventory. I did pick one old truck up this week. Picked up a 51 Ford F5. It was an old farm truck. Pretty solid old truck. A little bit of rust in the fenders and the corners of the doors, like typical. Cab looks really solid. It's got a small block Chevy in it. Somebody did swap it out with a small block Chevy. I think the truck may even run. I haven't tried yet, but thought I may try to check that out too. We'll get you some pictures posted of that soon and some video on that truck. So, but a lot of good pieces on that one as well. So that's I think that's the only thing of interest I picked up. I did get a bunch of some new stock stuff. We did make a run to Hayes this week. My sister saw a post pop up on Facebook about a warehouse sale in Hayes, which is about 50 miles from me. And the dealership there, the GM dealer, everything with the exception of Chevrolet was standalone, was formerly known as the James Motor Company. It sold out here recently. Well, there was somebody having a warehouse sale with a whole bunch of stuff that had come out of that dealership. So we ran up there and got some really cool stuff there. two sets of porcelain Pontiac letters, 2 sets of porcelain Buick letters, and 1 set of porcelain neon Cadillac script letters. So that was some cool stuff. My dad, my sister, and I all ran up and grabbed that stuff. So I've got to sort through those and see who's going to all get what. But I did get a batch of parts there as well. Mostly 90s stuff, but a lot of it was new old stock, some sheet metals and things like that. I got to sort through that stuff hopefully this week as well and see what all we got there. But always cool finding some old dealership stuff like that. Got some boxes of old, dealership miscellaneous promotional items and some cool things to sort through on that stuff as well. So didn't make that run this week, so that was some cool stuff we came up with too. And then got plus picked up the 51 F5. Glenn's still looking for a 60 Chevy 4-door flat top. I haven't seen anything lately, Glenn, but if we do, it'll pop up on Facebook and YouTube. So I'll keep that in mind as well. Trivia. We're ready to play some trivia. And like I said, I'm going to I'll go with the first correct answer that I see. On Toy Tuesday last week, had a bunch of different things we picked up at the Hutch Swap Meet. Couple of Texaco pieces, some oil cans, a Sinclair book, some old drag racing trophies, and some Redline Hot Wheels. Had 2 really super cool Redlines that we picked up. One of them was based on an AMC Gremlin. What was the name of the Redline AMC Gremlin, custom AMC Gremlin? What was the name of that Redline Hot Wheels? So I'll keep an eye on the comments on that. And the winner, I'm going to send you another oil can. This is a cardboard can, Mobil Super 1040. Now, the cardboard cans, I'm not opposed to them at all because these cans are not going to last at all like the metal ones did. The metal ones would at least hold up. But these cardboard cans, this one doesn't have any real cool graphics on it other than the Pegasus on the back like most Mobil cans did have. But still a good-looking can, and just, they're not going to survive. So I have no problem adding cardboard cans to my collection. I hope you guys like them as well. And keep an eye on comments. Have not seen anything yet as to the name of there we go. Edward got it. Open Fire. So get Edward down, and I need to get those parts written down that you want me to check on anyway, Edward. So Glenn guessed the Hornet. That was not it. We've got it right here. I'll show it to you again. Super cool little Gremlin with an aircraft set up with like an aircraft engine in it. These were a really rare Redline. They only made them for 1 year. I think this is a 1971 or 72. It says 71 on the bottom of it. There's a 1-year production run, so there's not a ton of these out there. The gold one is one of the more common ones, but it's still not a real common Redline. So really cool piece. As I was doing a little bit of research on this, when I was thinking of a question for tonight, I was working on it last night, and wanted to do a little bit of research to talk about it because my daughter was the one that found this. She said, we need to find an Open Fire. And there was a toy dealer there that had one at the Hutch Swap Meet, so that's why we managed to pick this one up. I was like, well, I want to do a little more research on the Open Fire and find out why it was so rare. And then that's when I found out it was a 1-year only deal. It was available in several colors, gold being one of the more common ones, but still a rare Hot Wheel. I found a website. If you're a Hot Wheels guy, and if you're a Hot Wheels guy, you probably already know this, but it's called Online Redline Guide. Tons of cool stuff on there. Tons of great information on there. So if you like Hot Wheels, if you haven't seen the Online Redline Guide, you might want to check that out as well. I got on that, and then I started digging out other Redlines we've got and started checking on that. Yeah, Edward, it's like the pink VW bus. And that's another thing that I kind of found out. There are different versions of the Beach Bomb, and I was not aware of that as well. So the real rare Beach Bomb, the pink Beach Bomb that's worth a fortune, was actually, from what I understand, there again, and I found this on the Online Redline Guide site, that was what was called a rear loader Beach Bomb. Now, the Beach Bum was the VW bus. I've got one. We've talked about it a few times before. But they had a rear loader and a side loader. The rear loader, the surfboards went in the back and called it a rear loader. The problem with that, from what I saw on what I read on the online Redline guide last night, was the Beach Bum was too narrow. The body was too narrow to fit in a new track they had coming out that year. And I think it was the Slingshot or something. It was one of those deals that had kind of a foam rotating deal, and it would shoot the car out and down the iconic orange track. The original Beach Bum, the rear loader, when they got it done, it was too narrow to feed into that track. Well, that was the new big set that was coming out for the next year, and it wouldn't work in that set. So what they did is they made the wide Beach Bum, which is what I've got, and they physically, like, almost looks like they pasted sides onto the body and widened it, and then where those extra humps were on the sides, that's where they put set up to slide the surfboards in the side. So that was what they called the side loader Beach Bum versus the rear loader Beach Bum. I didn't know any of that till last night, but that's what I learned on the online Redline guide. So that was pretty cool to read that. So 65 F100 is going to jump off. He's got stuff to do, and that's great. Glad you made it. We're getting ready to wrap up here anyway. A couple more things to talk about, and we're going to be off of here tonight as well. But if you're a Hot Wheels guy, be sure to check out the online Redline guide. Tons of cool information on there. The problem with that is, and I'm going to warn you before you go, you're going to find a whole bunch of cool Hot Wheels that you haven't seen before, and then you're going to try to look for them and try to buy them. So I'm going to forewarn you, it may cost you money if you go to the online Redline guide, because it's probably going to cost me money. That's how I know that. So anyway, what's coming up this week for videos? We've got some stuff in the new yard. I'm going to put out, I should have the next video ready on the 78 F250, which is going to outline what I want to do with that truck. And like I told you, there's an interesting twist to that story. So stay tuned for that. We'll try to get that one ready as well for this week. And that's kind of about what I had. So we'll get ready to wrap up. I'm going to keep an eye out on questions. Glenn says the Hot Wheels shooter was called the Supercharger. Okay, have to look that set up too. And that's why some of the stuff, these chats and stuff, sometimes are a bad thing. You end up finding cool stuff you think you want and you need to buy. So, but that's the whole point. Getting on here, having a good time, talking about cars and memorabilia and things like that. So, that being said, we're coming up on 30 minutes, and I know I don't like dragging it out too much longer. I'm sure you guys get tired of listening to me. But I'll keep an eye out for more questions. We did a live walk around on the yard today. Had several of you jump on with that. That was a good time as well. And I'm not seeing anything else pop up. Once again, if I missed your question or comment, I may not have seen it. It may not have fed me. So I'm working with what I've got and what I can see. So nothing else is popping up. So I guess we'll go ahead and get ready to wrap up. As always, thanks for stopping by tonight. Had a great time. That just amazes me that I get to sit here and hang out with you guys. You guys are the ones that really make this a lot of fun, and it's a great time. Glenn still has all his stuff, so maybe it won't cost him anything if he's still got a lot of it. But thanks for being here, everybody. As always, if you've got any questions about vehicles or parts, the best thing to do is give me a call. We've got to have that conversation about exactly what your vehicle it is, what model it is, what parts you're needing, and what direction you're going with your build, and know if I've got something here to help out with it. And so give me a shout. The numbers are on the pages. I'll be more than happy to see if we've got anything that we can help you out with. So as always, thanks for watching, and glad you made it by tonight. Stay tuned. We got some more cool stuff coming tomorrow night on the videos. Oh, Terry just jumped on us. Yeah, Terry, you hadn't been here yet. I hadn't realized that, but yep. And anyway, that's what we've got going. We'll call it a night. Thanks for being here. Had a great time with you guys. Thanks for spending part of your evening with me. And I love the group we've got on here and having a good time talking about cars and memorabilia. So as always, give me a shout if you got any questions. We'll see you tomorrow night with some more cool videos. Tuesday night, I've got a whole big, huge box of Mobil Oil memorabilia that I bought at the Hutch Swap Meet. The guy was selling out part of his collection. I walked up, and he said, make an offer on it. I said, what do you want for all of it? He shot me a price, and he boxed up the whole table, and I have not unboxed it since. So Tuesday night, we're going to start digging through that box of Mobil Oil memorabilia on Toy Tuesday. So thanks for watching, everybody. Looks like we've got all the comments caught up, at least the ones they fed me. So we're going to sign off, and we will see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for watching, everybody.